Whenever me and my team are trying to put something out there, whether it's something for our own company or something we're working on with a client, I always come up with this sort of internal perfection approach versus the just launch approach. And this mostly applies to customers, clients that we work with, where we help them, ship landing pages, websites, funnels, and new features for their apps. Every time I encounter this situation, I try to think of this sort of idea. I am not a perfectionist, so I am mostly driven to the just launch approach, which is that whenever we have to put something out there and we do it, and I think that it's fine, I am much more oriented to just launch it. Just put it out there and see what happens, then we can get feedback and tweak on it. But I get, most of our clients sometimes go through this situation every once in a while, which is like, let's say you are doing whatever. This applies to anything. Just put a LinkedIn post out there, tweak a hero section on a landing page, launch a new landing page, or maybe update the about page with some updates on the company, whatever it is. Let's say we have to update the hero section. So we come up with the first version, and the feedback is like, yeah, it's okay, but let's make it more engaging and animation based. We need more animations in here. So let's look at this example right here from the competition. Let's use that one. It looks great. All right, so we iterate on it. We create a second version that's done, ready to be launched. Looks awesome. So let's make a round of internal validation. So the client goes and validates this with the CEO or the C-level team or the managers, whatever. And then feedback comes and it's like, actually it's kind of weird how, the final result, I'm not a huge fan of this, but look at this one from the competition, totally different. Let's try that. All right, all right, they're experimenting, they're looking at this, so that's fine, let's do it. You come up with a third version, ready to be launched, and it's like, cool, now we're on track, let's launch it. You launch it, you put it out there, you update this website, and then you get feedback from your users, from your customers, from your potential clients, whatever, and you tweak it, you iterate on it, and then you launch a new version. So this is how most teams, most clients, primarily most old school clients that like to, make eternal rounds of revisions do. This is fine, but there's a problem with this, which is that typically it's very easy to fall into the trap of, letting this basically be the boss in the situation, and weeks will go by and you have nothing launched. You're still sort of going around full circle within your team internally without making this thing that you're trying to put out there public. This is a just launch approach, which is you come up with the first version, that's okay, that's launchable. It had its own rounds of revisions, obviously, but it's like the first version that you do. It's okay. You launch it, you put it out there, you get feedback from your users, your ideal customer profile, your customers, your audience, you name it. And then based on that, you can tweak on it. The big difference, obviously, it's not only time, but primarily that, let's say that this first version, is the same as this. It's like the same, they're in the same time gap, and then the second version corresponds to this. Now, with the third version you did, and the fourth version you did, which you basically used to launch, you can do an experimentation iteration. You can experiment on what you're doing. And obviously the situation and the sequence on the right is much better because you are now using your precious time, which obviously is incredibly important, to refine on something that it's already out there. And you can basically use this idea to just say, all right, let's work on this new, sign up page. We're going to do an A/B test on this. Let's have version A and version B as fast as possible. Let's put them out there as fast as possible. And then instead of spending our energy and our time into doing eternal rounds of revision until reaching this perfection, let's use all of that time and energy into experimenting after this thing is out there and after we start getting insights and lessons from our users. So whenever you encounter a situation like this with your team, with your boss, with your company, with a client you're working with, whatever situation you're in, try to think about the just launch approach. And if you can't explain it very well, because it's not that easy to, put it into the table and start discussing this with other people, come up with this idea, and try to make this comparison between what we can get achieved on the internal perfection approach versus how we can use all that time and energy into different experimentation blocks of time after the just launch approach is done. So hope this one was useful, and let's start launching faster, launching more, and learning more insights from our users. Bye bye.